We are in the final weeks of another Earth revolution. Autumn's end is nigh. The winds of winter return despite having been around for years, but will likely never truly finish. This solstice brings people together around that evergreen tree as they give happiness to loved ones while watching timeless holiday entertainment. There are the inevitable debates about whether or not certain classics truly are Christmas movies. Nonetheless, join myself and my esteemed guests as we commence a Nerdporeal holiday special. Hey everybody, welcome to the finale of the Nerdporeal Christmas Classic season. I've been pretty busy, started new jobs, so I haven't been able to do as much of these as I've done serial horror chats, but wanted to end this on a blast, and here it is. Timeless classic, Miracle on 34th Street. And the best person to talk about this with, because she watched it twice this year already, let's give a warm welcome to her Nerdporeal chat debut, Magitek Mags. How you doing?
I'm good, Brian. I'm good. How are you doing?
Doing great. I'm doing great. I got home, as you can see. I'm still in my work attire. I'm wearing, I don't look like a schlub for once. Got the collared shirt going, and
Look at
plus,
you with the pop collar going on
yeah,
too.
yep. And the thing is, it's such a timeless movie. I want to be as dignified as I can to this great movie. So, what's funny is I actually saw the 1994 film first.
Really?
Yeah, we rented it. I think I was a kid. We rented it. It was the one with Richard Attenborough.
Uh-huh. So see, I never watched it. I always grew up on the classics. So, and of course it was the black and white version, not the colorized version of Miracle on 34th Street. Because when you watch the colorized version, you do see that or any colorized version of any black and white movies in general, you will still see remnants of the black and white in the background. It's not completely colorized. It's not perfect. So, and besides the black and white, there's so much charm to this. Something about the colorized version just takes away that charm, and this
I
is such a
agree.
charming movie.
Maybe it's the darkness in me, the darkness that loves the film noir. Just the shadows and everything.
Mhm.
But you know what? It's just I don't know. The black and white kind of, like you said, gives it that timelessness. But before we go any further, I forgot to say hello to the chat. So I want
Hi,
to say
Kat.
hi to everybody here. Shelby AC is here. I love this movie so much. This movie is second in terms of charm only to The Goat, which is It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life is my family's favorite too. So
Same. I mean, every year NBC, it's always on. Folks always watch it. It's a tradition. I want to say hi to Angry Canadian, who's I can actually be here. Yeah, you're all the way up and you're all the way in Japan. I don't know if you're not too far from Gray, but hey, welcome. Louise X Sparrow, hi. And then she says this is also one of my favorite Christmas movies. My gosh, there's the scene with the Dutch girl is my favorite scene in this whole movie. It just melts my heart. It's just the most adorable thing I've ever seen.
and Natalie Wood's expressions in this movie too are
Yeah.
perfect. She was a great child actress. Like she just for that age at that time, it's incredible how well she acted.
Yeah, it's a shame what ultimately happened to her.
Yeah.
Because I was reading up on this and I just somehow got sidetracked and read about the mystery behind Natalie Wood's death. Like, was she killed? She fell off the boat. She drowned.
A lot of
Was
people, a
there
lot of
foul
Natalie
play?
Wood fans think that it was what is it? Oh, gosh, what was his name? Robert
Wagner.
Wagner that was behind it, and we don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was his
It's,
boat, and you know who else was on board? Christopher Walken was on board too.
yep.
But we're not
And
here to.
both of them are silent on that. So
Yeah, yeah. So
we're not here for that though. We're
we
here
are
for
not here
Christmas.
for that. It's Christmas. It's time to celebrate and everything. I want to say hello to Solidus Bros or Solidus Snake or Solidus Snake. What's up? You're on he's on Matt Cave's stream yesterday. We were talking video games. So yeah, all nerd shit. And we got Dempsey, part of the Donut Squad. So yeah, we got a good portion of the Donut Squad here. You
The
know,
Donut Squad.
now if Steve shows up, that'll be a miracle.
That
And we
would
got
be.
Whoopa. Whoop, I
Hi,
haven't seen you in a
Whoopa.
while. Where have you been?
I apologize, chat. I will be muting a lot because I still try to get over my flu from last week, and I've got a lingering cough, and it's been raining outside, so it's kind of aggravated it.
Yeah, so I'm okay with it. Chat, I'm sure we have a great chat. I'm sure they're okay with it too. So, and we got Dan Crane here. Welcome, Dan. Thanks for being a member of the Nerdporeal Continuum. And once again, if you are interested in being a member of the Nerdporeal Continuum, hit that join button. Mags, I know you recently joined the Continuum, and unfortunately you got sick. But has your life improved in any way from being a member?
my life has taken a continuum form.
There you go. Perfect. Oh, nice.
Thanks, Nas. You're cute. You're adorable. Always there to boost me up. Oh.
Yeah, Nas is the man, and so is Dempsey. I can't wait to use the music that he made for me. So, but we're here to talk Miracle on 34th Street. So this is the very beginning of the movie. We get that very uplifting bum 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 bum, you know, and we have Chris Kringle right here, played by Mr. Edmund Gwenn. I didn't realize it, but he's from the UK.
And he's going through the streets of New York City here, and just the uplifting music is playing, and you can already tell too with the uplifting music that some shenanigans are going to be afoot this movie. Fun shenanigans, of course, and I love this window viewing
right
scene.
here.
Yeah, where he's like, no, that's the incorrect way to put the reindeer.
Yeah, and the guys because this is Thanksgiving, so this is Thanksgiving Day, New York City. This is like right before the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Everybody knows the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It's still an annual thing. This was actually filmed during that parade, the 1946 one. So it was actually pretty cold. It was pretty cold when they were doing this. So when you see Maureen O'Hara shivering, it was that was
for
real.
Yeah,
that was for real.
And let me tell you, having family up in the north and visiting New York City, especially around Christmas time, the wind between the tall buildings is even worse than the actual temperature.
Oh wow!
So
really?
Yeah, it can get pretty cold, and it can get pretty windy. So
I've been in New York once in October, and this was for New York Comic Con about 10 years ago. And I remember how breezy it was. I remember how chilly it was there. And I visited, like, I was in Manhattan, so I actually felt that.
Yeah.
Not the winter, but something close there. So
Yep, it could be bad.
But I love this right here because this guy's just like looking up. He's like, we're closed. He's like, no, just open the door. And he's like, I don't know if I want to open the door for you. You seem kind of weird.
I mean, wouldn't that be a little alarming? Some random older guy is beating on your window and yelling at you.
and what he's telling you, he's telling you, like, oh, that's the reindeer. They're wrong. You have to put Comet here and Cupid there, and Donner is like this, and Blitzen's like that.
Yep.
I'm surprised I even remember the reindeer's names. Yeah, you have to sing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer several times to remember all the names of the reindeer.
Or listen to Roman's rendition of reading The Night Before Christmas.
Really? I've never heard that. I'll have to listen to that.
Yep, he did that. I think Tuesday.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't Tuesday. It was Monday. Monday was the magical day for me. Wheel of Time day for me. So
We don't speak of those
we
times.
don't. Yeah, well, it's going to be happening again on Monday. I'm just saying. So yeah, there'll be plenty of weeping and drinking and gnashing of teeth. But
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
but yeah, this is going to be a more wholesome. This is going to be a way more wholesome stream. So yeah,
No booze
so
involved.
yeah, and of course I like how this shopkeeper is just like,
Mhm.
sure, and he just closes the door. He just closes the door and locks. He's like, who is this guy?
Who
Like,
is
what is
that?
going on here? And so here we have the Macy's Day Parade, or
Mhm.
not Macy's Day, Thanksgiving Day Parade,
Well,
and
I think it was considered the Macy's Day Parade, but I'm not sure if it was back then considered Macy's. I can't quite remember.
oh no, it was Macy's. It was the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's the one that we always seem to watch on Thanksgiving. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, here we meet our technically, I think she's technically the main character of this movie. I mean, it's really her arc.
She is
Her,
I think if she's the top billing in the beginning when they
yeah,
do the rolling credits in the beginning, if she's top billing that she is the star of the movie.
yeah. So in this case, this is she plays who does she play again? Doris Walker is her character's name.
And
Um,
this is Maureen O'Hara.
this is Maureen O'Hara, and her big arc her big character arc that she has throughout this movie is the fact that she just doesn't believe in anything, and she is kind of past that ideology, I guess, or ideals, or her
She doesn't
philosophy onto her child, onto Natalie Wood.
basically she's lost faith in
Yes.
a lot of things and she doesn't have a whole lot of belief. So she's very, matter of fact, doesn't think beyond, doesn't think that there's some other higher supernatural stuff going on, and that influences her child too. So that's how she raises her child.
Yeah. So like when what's his name? We meet the lawyer, Fred Gailey. Let me see if I can find that clip of them. Okay, that's Fred right there. He's the next door neighbor, and he wants to. I want to keep this wholesome, so he wants to. He wants to date. He wants to court. He wants to date her mother. So he's befriending the daughter right here, and this would never pass today. This would
No,
never pass today.
no, but I love the fact though that he and Mr. Natalie Wood, I forgot her actual character's name. I always forget her character's name, but
Susan.
Susan and Mr. Galen, they are friends, and this is his apartment right here, and she gets to see the Macy's Day Parade, which is almost like the 50-yard line in a football stadium.
Yeah.
So this view right here over Central Park. So
I like how she's so matter of fact. Like he's trying to like, tell her, like he's asking her, like, what would Jack and the Beanstalk do? And she's like, who? He's like, don't you know Jack and the Beanstalk? No. So her mother never really told her any like stories or fairy tales. She's always been, like you said, matter of fact. So all of Susan's responses right here is like, oh, that balloon was repainted as somebody else, and
there's always an
she's
explanation for everything. So instead of
yeah.
it actually, having an imagination, it's literally grounded in reality. So she can't think beyond that.
Yeah, and personally, I think that's kind of unhealthy, because you need to use your imagination, because
For creativity.
in order to solve problems, you need to be creative. In order to be
Mhm.
creative, you have to have an imagination. So, I mean,
It's a very
even
stunted way of doing things by
yeah,
their method.
yeah. I mean, even as an engineer, I mean, even though engineering comes off as very matter of fact with all the mathematical formulas, all the the rules and data and standards that we have to uphold, but when it comes to design, we have to be creative. We have to be creative, and we have to have an imagination in order to accomplish and deliver what's the work that's required. So it's really it's really important that kids have an imagination. They could play, they could tell stories and everything, or else you're just, as Jack Nicholson once said, or else you're a dull boy or girl. I don't want to
And
be,
it it's like that. It's like that in any job. You have to be creative to be able to solve the problem. And
yes.
a lot of times, some problems just don't have a direct A to B. You have to kind of do a couple of things in between to be able to get to the
You gotta be
solution.
like Captain. You have to be like Admiral Kirk in the Kobayashi Maru.
Maru.
Yeah, I
I
brought
know.
Star
Yeah, you have
Trek
to
into
be.
this.
Yep. So, and it's an imagination for children. It helps them create memories. It helps them problem solve. It helps them critically think on their own, and it helps them have friends too. I mean, you can't just be so not have any belief in something.
And look who's here! Look who's here!
Hi, Zach.
Zax. Hey, Zax. Oh boy. So yeah. So we get this. We get this great scene right here. And just to go. So this is. So yeah. So like if I just just start talking to a little girl in order to meet her mother and everything, it'd be cute and all that. Like if from a 1940s standpoint. But back in the 1940s, people were sweet summer children. Now it just comes off. People are so. You even talk to a kid, you're likely to get arrested or something. Like
Well,
I've heard horror stories.
that's because back then, people treated children not necessarily as adults, but it was more like neighbor and neighbor, taking care of everybody, each other and looking out for one another. And it's not as bitter as it was back. I mean, back then it wasn't bitter. Everybody was looking out for one another. Today it's self-centered. So
Well, self-centered, and I mean there's been more crime, and because of more crime towards children, people have just gotten, so like you said, more distrusting, I'll say.
yes. Yeah. There's not the level of trust in society today is not as high.
I love what Godzillionaire says. What's up, Godzillionaire? Member of the Nerdporeal Continuum. Because of the fact that he joined the Nerdporeal Continuum, he grew from like 20 feet to like 40 feet. So he's like crazy Godzillionaire now.
Ah, gotcha. He's
I don't know
super
what that means.
Godzillionaire. Is he a Super Saiyan Godzillionaire?
And he's like, what is this, a Disney Plus show? Oh, oh
No. This is a very sweet story. I don't think Disney would actually be able to make something like this anyway.
And we have my streaming bro here, Prophet of the Dragon. He says, "What's wrong with the color on your screen?" I
It's
think that was a
black
shot.
and white.
I think that was a shot at you, Mags.
Is that me? Steve, is that me? Are you talking
No,
about
no.
me?
I mean, because we how like you like the black and white version more than the color version.
Yeah, the colorized version takes the charm out of it, sucks it out.
Yeah,
sucks the life out of it. It's not.
Or maybe I don't know what he's talking about. Who knows what he's talking about?
He's Steve. No, he's
Steve.
Anyway.
But to go back a little bit. So, how does Kris Kringle get mixed up with Miss Walker? Well, he goes up to he's like, "Hey, it's Santa Claus," and he's like, "Well, because Kris, we all know Kris Kringle. He's Santa Claus." And because of that, he's curious how this Santa Claus is turning out. And he finds him drinking. He smells his breath.
Day drinking. This is probably, let me tell you, this is probably 7:00 in the morning.
Yeah, it's like 7, 8 a.m. or whenever they usually host the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But I love the drunk's response. He's like, "It's cold out there. I need something to keep me warm."
I mean, as a quarter Irish, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I suggest getting drunk, but
well, I do want to get some bourbon. I want to get some more bourbon and get some eggnog. I want to have some. I've had eggnog and bourbon. Bourbon's delicious combination.
You know what my grandfather used to call that? He used to call that nog. Not eggnog and bourbon. It's just nog.
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 Nog's a Deep Space Nine Ferengi character.
Oh my god, you're not drinking nog. That kind of nog. You need nutmeg in your nog.
Yeah. So because of that, he tells what's the mom's name again? Doris.
Doors.
He tells Doris, and she basically fires the guy. And
Well,
well,
he's incapacitated. He's fallen asleep, and he's not going to be able to operate the sleigh.
yeah. And because of that, well, they're like, you know what? They ask him. They ask Chris. They ask Chris like, hey, what can you
Well,
do
you
it? He's
know
like,
why?
I don't know.
Because he was so concerned for being drunkenness in front of children, and then when Doris pressured him to step up, he saw the faces of the little kids, and he couldn't disappoint them. So that's another hint too in the beginning of the for the audience to think, oh yeah, this solidifies as Kris Kringle. I yes, Whoopa, I guess I am.
Oh, Whoopa. Nogporeal life form.
Oh, that was
Anything poreal sounds good. That's the problem. Even drunk poreal, which doesn't exist. It's misinformation.
Wheel of Prime Porial. Wheel of Porial.
Oh yeah, I have the perfect opening in mind for the next Wheel of Time episode. Think Animal House. Think Animal House, and think you've seen Animal House, right? Remember when the Flounder
Yes.
remember when Flounder gets devastated over the wreckage of his car?
Yes.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that scene. And then there's a follow-up scene where John Belushi gives him some advice. And that's what I'm going to use. Start drinking heavily. So back to this. So pretty much like everybody loves Kris Kringle. He's doing such a great job. He's doing such a great job with the parade that they ultimately decide to hire him on as a full-time Santa Claus.
As the official Macy's Santa.
Yeah. And of course we find out that he meets this one young gentleman. I forget his name. But he is a very important character, especially later in the movie, especially with the major change. Let me think if I remember his name.
It's funny. I'm not good with names, so it's just I just know the characters by faces.
Yeah, but he's a young man. He's 17, and even back then, he's young and impressionable. And let's just say a certain psychologist or store psychologist or whatever his thing is. Manipulates him into believing he's doing bad stuff. Like he has a guilt complex.
I will admit, I know there are probably good psychologists out there, and I'm not reading your profession now, but the psychologist in this movie makes me go, I don't want to be
I mean, even Kringle himself has said, like, I have nothing but support for psychiatry or psychology. I think it's psychiatry. And he even knows all the tests. Like he knows all the you see him, he knows all the tests. But that's what leads him into trouble with this guy. And I couldn't help but want to discuss this because I was watching that last night and it felt very relevant. It felt very relevant to me, especially. I mean, let me see if I can find this. This is way later in the movie. Okay, this is way later in the movie. Okay, he's already here. He's in the sanitarium.
Yep.
This guy right here. This guy, Mr. Sawyer, the psychiatrist. And he's manipulative. He's cruel. He doesn't take responsibility. Does that sound like any familiar people on a certain social media platform with a blue bird and check marks and everything?
And it's so funny because what's great about some of these classic films too is that these characters that are here, just because they're, this story is like, 70, 80, whatever years old, the characters are still real and relevant to today because we recognize some of these people in our own daily lives. So, that's what makes a classic story timeless, because it can never age because it can always be relevant. And especially this particular character, the psychologist, he's a very embittered soul.
Yeah.
And he projects his bitterness on others.
Yes.
And uses his profession, his authority, and puts that on other people. And we've seen that in our daily lives even now. So it's incredible to see that. And then here's Kris Kringle, who's a good person, who's fighting. He's not necessarily fighting back in the fighting sense that we are familiar with, but more or less trying to be a good soul and understanding his position too. But he ends up being a mirror to the psychologist, and that's what makes the psychologist act inhumanely towards Kris Kringle.
Yeah, and this is just, I love this shot right here. This is a great shot, and
it is.
And he's calling him out. He's calling him out, and he does this.
And he doesn't have to be a psychologist to call him out. I mean, you don't have to be an authority on something. You can just know deep down in your soul that something's wrong, and you need to call out somebody on that.
Yeah. And so like it gets to a point where Kringle actually gets violent. He takes the cane. He's like, there's only one thing I could do with a person like you. And he hits him in the head. Now he didn't hit him in the head that hard, but he pretended it was harder.
He faked it. He faked it like faking an injury on a soccer field.
He's literally saying like, you're heartless. You lack humanity.
Yep.
And
I mean, look at his eyes. Look at the acting though. Look
Yeah.
at the psychologist's eyes. It's great.
Yeah. Just look at that malice right there. He's just like, it's like, I'm gonna do something if you don't.
He just bops it on the head.
Just bops him on the head. Yeah. The thing, and the reason why he gets put in the sanitarium is because they're right there. They see it happen, and of course Sawyer pretends that, Sawyer pretends that it was a major, he's playing the victim. He's pretty much playing the victim. Another trait of certain people on a certain platform. If you know
Steve says this movie is so violent.
You know what? You know what's funny? In the remake, Attenborough actually punched the dude, or actually punched the guy. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, and that's how he gets in trouble in that one. So, but yeah, this is a very violent movie indeed. But ultimately, like Sawyer's basically the villain, and because of the fact that he kind of put the wrench in the plans of the owner, Mr. Macy, because we do see Mr. Macy himself in this movie. I don't know if it's probably not the real Macy. It's probably just an actor, but Mr. Macy is a character in this movie, and he's puts a wrench in their holiday plans, because to go all the way back to here when he first gets hired. So he gets hired full time as a Santa Claus, and he's right here. He gets that's Mr. He's I think he's the head of sales at he's Mr. Shellhammer. Mr. Shellhammer.
He's probably like the VP of sales or something like that.
Yeah, and so he's telling he's giving Chris instruction on how to, if a kid does not know what they want, to push these particular products that have not sold. Mm-hmm. And this disgusts him right here. Like you could tell right from his facial expression that this is not something he wants to do. And he's like, once again, it's crass commercialism, it's Charlie Brown Christmas kind of
commercialism was going on even back then.
Yep.
So.
Yep. And he says, I feel like, I think for the past 40 years, 50 years or something, he felt that he's worried that the true spirit of Christmas has been diminishing as a result. And it's been more of, business just being opportunistic just to sell more and get more people to buy stuff and everything. And it's a problem. I've listened to some podcasts where they're talking. I was listening to the Sunny in Philadelphia podcast just a little bit of it, and Danny DeVito was talking about that, like how just like they put Christmas there just to sell stuff. And I'm like, I don't want to think of it that way. Mm-hmm. I don't want to believe that. I want to think that there's more. I think there's way more to it than that.
I think Christmas is what you make of it. And it's just like it gives, what you put in is what you're going to take in. Hi, Samil.
You got a hello. I didn't get a hello. Hey, but thanks for coming. Thanks to the Samil. Thanks for coming. So, again, going back. So he's disgusted. And so what does he do? Well, when he starts talking to
Oh,
kids, he tells this little boy wants a fire truck. And he's like, you can get this. He's like, you know what? He's like, you can get this. And what I love here is when the mother like is just calls him out. She's like, he's like, what are you trying to pull? This is not here.
mm-hmm.
We don't have this. We don't have this gift. And he's like, well, I know that, but I could tell you where you can get. And I was just when I was watching this last night, I forgot all about this. I was like, oh no, he's gonna get in trouble for telling the lady to go to another store, because that's the one thing you don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, salespeople do not do that. Like that is a no.
Yep.
So he tells her to go to. I think he tells her to go to Gimbals. Which is that a real place, Gimbals?
Gimbals, yes. Gimbals actually shut down a long time ago in the early, I would say sometime in the 2000s. Hi, Joker Voice. But it was a competitor store to Macy's. In fact, if you look at if you see the movie Elf, Gimbals is shown in that movie. So, and that was an early 2000s movie. So that's, yep. They are no longer in operation, unfortunately. But it's kind of like one of those major stores like Macy's, Sears, you know, the big name stores that we all grew up with, that they finally succumbed to closure.
This is interesting.
Yep.
Shelby says she was in Vertigo. I'm trying to remember who she was in Vertigo.
Yep. I recognize the face from Vertigo. I need to rewatch Vertigo to really see that, because
I think she was also in Rear Window.
Yes, I think she was too. I think so.
She was
Yes.
Jimmy Stewart's nurse in that one.
Yes. I think you're right.
I think so. Vertigo. I forget who she played in Vertigo, but I'm not going to worry about that now.
I love Rear Window though. I love that movie because it's got
it's
got Grace Kelly in it.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. It's a shame. It's a shame what ultimately happened to Grace Kelly.
I know.
Car accident, and well, she became a princess. She did become a princess.
Every girl's dream, right?
Yep. But yeah, I loved her reaction, and then he tells her where to go and get it. Go to Gimbals,
Mm-hmm.
and then she goes to Mr. Shellhammer, who's right there, and she tells him exactly what happens. Like, oh no, he's going to get in trouble. He's going to get in trouble.
But she compliments him. She's like, that I will be a Macy's customer for life because of this customer experience.
Yeah,
and it's amazing how, hey, you're helping the customer when you're actually catering to the customer.
I couldn't help but think of this being relevant too, because one thing that customers like, and this is not just people going shopping and buying stuff at the store. I'm thinking of entertainment, our space. When Hollywood decides to be honest, when they decide to be honest and forthcoming, fans usually appreciate that and are willing to support it. Example, the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
And she gave good feedback back. She's like, I never would have thought Macy's of all places would want to send their customers away to be helpful to them rather than to sell their own products. So,
it's a good thing that he didn't just try to, now maybe Mr. Sawyer would have done this, but it's a good thing Mr. Shellhammer didn't virtue signal or call her toxic and everything for
that sort of language was not there back then, Brian. Come on.
Yeah, because customer was always right until now. now you have to be mean and abusive to your customers, but still demand them to buy your product.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy? It's crazy when you think about it.
And Shelby did say, sorry, I meant Rear Window. That's what. So yeah, you were. Hey, look, we were thinking Hitchcock, so that's still in the same family.
I mean, she might have been in Vertigo. I mean, she might have been. So, but yeah, I love both movies. Own them. I own them. I have the Blu-ray. I have the Blu-ray collection. So
Mhm.
one of these days I'm going to do Hitchcock. One of these days.
Oh,
So
if you
stay
do Rear
tuned.
Window, please
Rear
invite
Window.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved. Yeah, but so because of that, because of all this. Oh yeah, and of
Oh, look,
course,
I love Natalie Wood's face.
look at that face.
She
He's
has
trying
the
to.
greatest facial expressions in this movie.
Yeah, I think she was only 9 or 10. She wasn't. She was really young when she
She
did
was really
this.
young, but her acting, I mean, even as a child actress then, I mean, is top notch for her age.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean,
Very,
that's
very mature too.
yeah, that's why she went on to become a very successful actress, probably the most successful of any of the actors in this movie, to be honest. I mean,
Well, no, Maureen O'Hara, she's top billing for a reason.
okay, all right, but I'm talking about like after this. I don't know if
Oh
Maureen
yeah.
O'Hara did much after this.
After Miracle 34th Street? What are you
Yeah.
talking about? No, she was around.
Oh, I know she was around, but I don't know if was she in much after this.
Let's see here. What when was this movie released? Let's see here.
47.
Oh yeah. Maureen O'Hara? Yeah, of course she was still acting after that. Oh my goodness. You're gonna make me look her up. I'm gonna look her up right now.
Don't worry, I got her up right here.
I'm defending my Irish heritage here with her.
Yeah, I think she's actually from Ireland. I thought she was American, but she's actually from Ireland.
She is from Ireland. In fact, if you paid attention, well, if you've seen it enough times as I have, you'll notice that she tries to speak American, but some of that Irish comes out. Especially when she calls Mr. Galen, she goes, "Mr. Galen." It's very you hear it a little bit. Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but I don't know. Hearing Irish is, I don't know. I find it cute. I don't know why. I don't know why. When a lady does Irish, it's cute. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you don't want to say that to an Irishman.
No. I'll get a punch in the face.
Yeah, you might. Oh, you're cute. That's
or maybe it's just the way you said it. Maybe it's just the way you said it. I think he's trying to get.
I've watched too much Quiet Man in my life to kind of pick up on the accents.
Quiet Man?
The Quiet Man, yeah. You've never heard of The Quiet Man?
I don't think so.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
It's John Wayne and Maureen O'Hara.
Yeah, I have a confession to make. I have not seen much.
Chat. What is wrong with him?
I have not seen much of the Duke. I've only seen one movie with the Duke, or a couple, maybe two.
Which movies?
Well, The Longest Day, the D-Day one.
Okay.
And I saw True Grit.
Okay, well, you're forgiven on that one, but you need to catch up on John Wayne stuff.
Yeah, I mean the only westerns I've really seen are pretty much Clint Eastwood stuff. That's pretty much what I've seen. So I still have to watch John Wayne westerns. I have to watch more. He did mainly westerns and war films, if I remember correctly. So.
Yes, and he oh my gosh, so Nas says The Quiet Man is his favorite John Wayne movie. He plays an Irish boxer. Nas, he's not seen The Quiet Man.
I think I'm gonna lose the Nerdporeal status.
Nas, he has not seen The Quiet Man. Help me out. Help me.
Oh, I love this right here.
I mean, this is a great shot right here.
And I think so. It was Gailey that took her to see him, and something that his mother was against. And he's trying. So here's Chris Kringle. He's really trying to bring out he's trying to bring out of her what she wants for Christmas. And she's like, "Oh, it's okay. Nothing too expensive and everything." And he's just like, "You shouldn't be talking like this. You're a kid.
You should be asking for a doll or a dollhouse or something."
Yeah. And so here she's kind of yelling at him and in a nice way.
She's more like, "Look, I'm her mother. You're not like a father or her mother. I'm the parent, and this is how I've raised my child. And Mr.
Yeah.
Galen, Mr. Galen is trying to say, but she needs to have a healthy imagination, and it's sad to see her not have an imagination or some sort of belief.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is that. Oh, that's a great movie. I love that movie. But I was trying to highlight this one. It's a running joke with me and Whoopa. Every time Whoopa says he sees something, I'm like, I didn't know there were Pokemon in that movie.
What if they're Digimon in that movie, Whoopa?
Well,
that might cause some.
Then the scanner's effect would happen to him. His blue head would explode. But I want to. Where's the? Oh, I love this. Oh, this is so cute. I'm gonna show this. I love this. I love this. My favorite. My favorite scene in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's so she's an orphan. She's a little Dutch girl. She doesn't speak a word of English.
And again, sorry to cut you off there, Brian, but like we said, like we found out, it's 1947.
Yeah.
So what is going on in 1947? World War II and post World War II, and Europe. There's a lot of chaos and probably displaced families and children. So a lot of orphans came over here. So just trying to set up the scene.
But this part right here, like she's with her. I'm assuming that's an adoptive mother or a foster parent, one of the two. And she doesn't like you said, she's like, oh, Santa's not going to be able to talk to her because he doesn't speak Dutch or something. But then when he does speak Dutch to her, the emotion that you see is one of my favorite moments. He's speaking Dutch right now. Look at that face.
I know.
Look at that face.
Yeah, because she's probably been so, isolated and not being able to communicate with anybody. Can you imagine somebody communicating to you? I mean, look at Natalie Wood's face.
Yeah. Yeah. She's watching all this too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what I think is the cutest thing about her besides the braids? Look at, she's missing her two front teeth. She's talking so
sweetly about her. About
Isn't that
her,
adorable.
I know.
And it's I have an image to maintain. I'm usually the tough stoic one. Look at me. My heart's melting right now. I've got tears in my eyes.
Well, I guess I'm the toxic female here, and I want kids, and I want. So every time I see kids like this on screen, I'm like, oh my god.
I know. I love this. I love this shot. I love this still right here. And they're talking in Dutch. They're talking in Dutch, and then they're singing the song. I think I can't do the Dutch. It's crazy. Oh, holy crap!
Oh.
Zombie box, 100 pounds. I want to wish you, Magitek, and everyone here a wonderful Christmas. God bless you all. Well, thank you so much. What about me? Thanks, Zombie.
That's why you have me here, Brian.
Yeah, that's why I have over 10. That's why I have more than 5 people here. It's because of you. Zombie box, you're amazing. Thank you. And we love you. We love you.
Thank you, Zombie box.
That's
Merry
crazy.
Christmas.
Thank you. That's so generous of you. Oh man, this is fun. I'm really enjoying this stream right now. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. I just love this. I'm just loving this right here. I'm getting this all wrong. Oh my God,
Steve, what the frick is your problem? Why are you guys talking about ugly children?
What? Who is it? Was Steve?
Yes.
Well, Steve is
Steve, you already got kids. You need to shut up and sit down. I like kids.
We got Shadow Rain Vortex. What's up, Shadow Rain? How you doing? Thanks for coming by. it's just so cute. I just it melts my eyes every time. I mean, my heart. Not my eyes.
Your heart grew 3 sizes today.
Yeah. Well, then I'd have an enlarged heart, and then I'd be in trouble. I'd have heart problems.
But I love this scene where Susan is trying to, like, her mother is trying to explain to her that Kris Kringle doesn't exist and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I love that Susan's like, but I saw what I saw. Like, how can he not be real? And she's trying to, and it's funny because the way that she raised her child to be reasonable and rational, even her own child is throwing reason and ration right back at her mother.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And because of this, it gets to a point where Doris kind of becomes antagonistic to, I mean, without being truly antagonistic, but she starts kind of working against Kris Kringle, and
it's revealed that the reason why she doesn't believe in fairy tales is because of her own personal reasons.
Yeah, she was cheated on.
She was cheated on, and so therefore she's raising her child with this emotional projection. So and Mr. Galen helps fix that.
That's right. And here, like, and the other big thing is, like, Susan never knew her father. So that was the other thing. So like when Fred asks, Susan, like, has your father ever talked to you? And she's like, no. So she's only had her mother, and all she grew up with was her mother's, like you said, matter of factness and
influence. Yep.
And influence. And this movie, once again, really discusses how impressionable children are. So when you're talking to a child, you have to be careful with what you say, because,
and not only that, but if you need healing in some form or some fashion, and you're starting to project that on your child is going to grow up with that pain.
I agree. That's true.
So you need to be careful with how you handle that.
I agree. I totally agree with that. Oh my gosh, Whoopa for 10 American dollars. Mr. Nerdporeal, is diez dólares enough to make you do a shot of Malort on stream? Also, Kris Kringle doesn't exist. Everyone knows Delibird delivers the presents every Christmas. Who's Delibird?
I think it's a Pokemon.
Oh, of course.
Would you expect anything different?
Nope, would not. So I do not have any Malort on me. I did drink Malort during my Thanksgiving stream for Planes, Trades, and Automobiles with my friend. But for you, I'll go and grab a little airline bottle of Malort, and maybe I'll do something Christmas Eve. I haven't made up my mind if I'm going to do a stream on Christmas Eve. Just chill, drink some drinks, and have fun. So, but that's Saturday. So, but thank you once again, Whoopa. Miss you, man. All right, so we're back to an Angry Canadian's gonna be crap now. How do you not know Delibird, Nerdporeal? Jeez. She says Mag should take over the stream now at this point.
He actually used my real name too, which is funny.
Oh. How does
he know my real name?
Yeah, let's not use real names, everybody.
No. It's so
unless
fun.
it's me.
No,
unless it's my name.
No, I mean Mags is a derivative of Maggie, which is a derivative of Margaret. So I just choose Mags because that's just short.
So I see. I follow the calculus too. You said derivative of a derivative of a derivative. Okay, that was bad.
It's like a Russian doll,
Yeah, Russian doll. So I think going forward, I'm trying to remember what happens next.
Well, now they're trying to
Oh, Mr. Macy.
they're
Mr.
yeah,
Macy.
because of the feedback of the happy mother
Yeah.
customer. Um, he's been receiving all kinds of letters from all over, all over the place. And he's like, I have had, so many, so much good feedback from these customers that and I think there's been a rise in sales too, they've noticed. And then, so now he's creating a policy where let's be the helpful place, and not Ace, the helpful place, but let's be the helpful place and, help our customers out by doing goodwill towards men. So
Yeah. And I like how Gimbals reacts. Like they're like, they're going to play this game. Well, two can play at that game. And they're like, call our offices in Toledo and Chicago and in LA or wherever. We're going to do this.
in Atlanta and all that kind of stuff.
In
yeah.
Atlanta. And of course, then it gets back to Macy's. And he's like, well, we're going to do the same, except we're going to do even better. We're going
to create a catalog of other stores that if you can't find this item, then you can go to this store over here for this item or for a cheaper price.
Yeah. I totally agree. I just like it. It's just so, it's like the generosity wars between me and Steve, it's like who's going to
Really?
win. It's like a never ending. It's a war of attrition. It's a generosity of attrition is what I call it. We're wearing each other down with generosity. So,
well, I haven't seen Steve be generous tonight, other than just making fun of black and white movies.
It's okay. Steve, don't donate. Do not donate.
There you go.
I do these things out of the kindness of my heart. I don't do these for things in return.
Oh my gosh. You just did.
My gosh.
You just did.
all hail the donut squad.
we always rise up.
Oh no.
Yes.
Prophet, you did it. Oh, but you know who did become Nathan. Nathan is now
and
a
he's
member.
actually in chat because I see him on the YouTube.
Oh, there he is. Nathan is now a member of the Nerdporeal Continuum. You know what that means? It means your life, whatever aspect of your life is gonna get even bigger and better than ever. Just like the $6 million man. Boom, as Dempsey says. So rising up in donuts, that really sounds like a drunk party game. Yeah, I know. But here's one thing I think that's very interesting about this movie. It always makes me wonder, and I saw this as a teenager, and I was still like completely charmed by it, and it really brought my teenage imagination out, especially with what if like all the mystical figures, Santa Claus, are amongst us. They walk amongst us, and they just provide, promote kindness and goodwill. I mean, isn't that just like a warm and fuzzy feeling? I think it is. Just having Kris Kringle just going around, talking to, making people happy, because that's my thing. I like seeing people. I like to see people, like to make people happy. I do it for selfish reasons, of course, but I selfishly want to see people be happy, and that way I'm happy. So,
well, the happier you are all the way around is it's infectious, and
viral.
I feel, yeah, it's very viral. It's very infectious.
Yeah.
It's generosity, love, and goodwill towards men. Exactly. And it's meant to be togetherness and for humanity to come together and, kind of get grounded again in what is the true meaning of what we're supposed to be doing on this earth. So
all hail Prophet of the Donut.
The Lord Emperor Donut King.
He says Nerdporeal is such a selfish piece of poop. Well, you're a dumb apple. You're a dumb apple.
Is this Easton talking, Steve?
No, Easton's well behaved. This is Steve. I know this is Steve.
So
Like-
Steve is really the 2-year-old child here.
Yes, like Easton's like Easton's like, shut up, Dad, or Dad, stop it. You know. But yeah, I love that. But it's just such a beautiful thing to see, and it's one of the reasons why I really love this movie. And I like how right here, I believe she's like, you know what? She looks at his employment card, and it writes down like he's from the North Pole, and she's
his
like,
closest
oh my
relatives
gosh.
are Donner and Cupid. And
Yeah, she's like, oh my gosh, I have to get rid of him. He's crazy.
Yeah, this is before, and where she I think she fired him and then rehired him or something like that.
Well, she was about to fire him, but then she went up to see Mr. Macy, and Mr. Macy's like, "Oh, we have to keep him." Or Mr. Macy's like, "I am so happy with him. We want to keep him on for a while." And she's like,
but he doesn't.
She literally
doesn't have a place to stay.
like she literally like look at that face right there.
Yep.
Like right here, yeah, that. She's like, they're like, really? But yeah, so, and of course she talks, this is his old doctor, his geriatric doctor right here, and he has nothing but positive things to say about him. So he's like, is he delusional? He's like, well, yeah, but he's delusional in a positive way. He's not delusional in a destructive way.
Yeah, he's not, he's not destructive, he's not evil, he's not malicious.
Speaking of Easton.
Hi,
there
Easton.
He is. What's up, Easton? She looks dumb. Oh, come on, Steve.
Steve, come on, don't be a dumb apple.
Dumb apple. I've only seen the remake with Richard Ambar. That was the first one I saw. That's the first one I saw. You
have to watch the original to appreciate anything that came after it, because that's where they got their inspiration from.
Yeah.
And then, so now you have the meeting of the two minds, where here's the doctor to the left, and then the psychiatrist to the right. And it's so interesting, the juxtaposition. Here's the psychiatrist to the right, who obviously looks bittered and distressed and just, he needs to stand. But the geriatric doctor to the left, he looks cool, calm, put together, relaxed. And you immediately get that sense of visual that you kind of prefer the geriatric doctor here.
Yeah, I mean, he's friendlier. He's more down. He's more up. He's more down to earth, and he's positive.
And he doesn't need to be a psychologist to be down to earth. So again, it's not about, you might be an expert or an authority figure, but are you really?
Yeah. And I want to read Dan Crane, for a member for 4 months. He says, "Here's to you, everyone. Drink him if you got him." Yep. Well, you know what?
Yeah.
I got some sparkling ice right here. So you know what? I'm gonna drink this right now.
I just have water tonight, folks. I'm sorry.
There we go.
I actually had my
nice
first beer tonight since like early last week, because I've been sick. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Yeah, I love this. So yeah, right here. By the way, hit the like button if you haven't. Yeah, hit that like button.
Hit the like button and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. Consider joining the Nerdporeal continuum. Who knows what magic will happen, But yeah, so we find out that Chris is staying with Mr. Gailey.
Well, no, he's looking for a place to stay. So Doris, Maureen O'Hara's character and the head of sales, they concoct a plan to let Kris Kringle stay at the head of sales home, but he has to make his wife drunk to agree to it.
Yeah, look at this right here.
This scene is so funny, because my brothers and I always quote some parts of this movie, and this is one of them. So
she keeps getting the phone wrong. She's like talking into the hearing part.
Hello, and then he's like, no. This way, darling. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, darling. Hello.
No, dear, like this.
Yeah.
Oh, darling.
No, she says, "Oh, how silly of me."
It's so ridiculous.
Because he said he made her martini extra strong. So
Wow, what a bastard.
hey, I mean, you got to do what you got to do to find a place to save for Kris Kringle.
That's true. But ultimately, like, he ends up staying with Gailey. Offers Gailey offers to have him room with him. And what's funny is in this room, it's like the I Love Lucy bedroom. It's like two beds in a single room, like right here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and so yeah, Mr. Galen has proposed that or said that Kris Kringle would stay with him because they're more friends, they're friendlier, and it actually works out better this way anyway.
Oh, Max, you didn't have to do this. You're on stream with me. You don't have to. It's gift a membership.
It's Christmas.
Well, thank you, Max. Thank you. So now Shelby AC is currently a member of the Nerdporeal Continuum. Welcome.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, Shelby.
Who knows what that means? That means maybe some aspect of your life will get better. I can't think of anything. It's cringe when I talk about myself. When I talk about Steve, I can do it for hours, but I can't.
Well, you'll be elevated to Godporial status by joining the Continuum.
I don't know what that means, but absolutely. If Mag says it, you know it to be true. Flameporial. Yep. All right, but yeah, once again, thank you, Mags. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, so yeah, so like here they're trying to I like how like they're talking about, of course, Doris and their daughter, and he wants to get Doris to change, and Kris wants to get the daughter to start to believe in things and to believe in everything. So this is their wicked evil plan that they're plotting right here.
Well, Mr. Galen is obviously attracted to Doris, and I mean, why not? Maureen O'Hara is a redhead, and she was gorgeous. Even
she's a redhead.
Yep, she was a redhead.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, she was gorgeous, and I mean, even in her older years, she was beautiful. Still, she has a beautiful soul inside and out. Anyway, but
I just looked her up. She lived all the way to 2015.
Yeah.
She lived to be like 95 years old, I believe. So that's crazy.
That's a good life.
Yes.
And very gracious soul too. Not like some of these female actresses that we see today. But anyway,
well, you gotta remember Jennifer Lawrence did all this first. She was in Miracle on 34th Street even before Maureen O'Hara. Excuse me.
Jennifer Lawrence. Oh my gosh, I don't want to hear her name again.
All right, sorry. I take responsibility.
Yeah, it's all your fault.
Yep.
But yeah, no. So what it is, Mr. Galen recognizes that she is, she's a good person deep down. It's just she's just a little misguided, and so they're trying to concoct a plan to kind of help both of them out, because obviously they need a little bit more Christmas spirit in their lives.
I agree. Yeah, and of course this is Mr. Gimble right here. He's like, if Macy's is going to be kind, we're going to be even kinder. Get to work. He's like, get to work, people. He's like, okay, yes, sir. Oh, and this was pretty funny right here. She's showing Kris how to blow bubbles, blow bubble gum and everything.
Mm-hmm. This is so funny.
He's like, can I try it too? And then
I love her eyes, her expression when she watches him.
It's all in his beard now. You have to get it out.
He's got to pluck it out. But if something like that happens, I think you're supposed to put like peanut butter on or something like that to help get it out. I don't know why peanut butter, but apparently it helps.
See, Zombie Box agrees with me. Jennifer Lawrence was the first woman to star in a black and white movie.
Oh my God! Stop! It's gonna hurt my It's gonna hurt my classic heart soul.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll stop.
It's gonna hurt me so much because I will get mad, and I don't want to get mad.
Yeah, we already talked about the young man right here. So the young man's is being told by the psychologist Mr. Sawyer that he has a guilt complex and that he's a bad person, that he's done bad stuff. And Kringle's trying to tell him, no. He's like, no, he's wrong.
Well, he's realizing that the psychologist is messing with this young man's mind. He was already grounded and rooted in reality. He didn't need somebody else to put these things in his head and tell him differently, or try to change the natural law and order of things, like some corporations and people that we know today, like trying to mess up their minds. And his mind was already healthy. It's just he's being misguided to be something different and something else that he's not. I know.
And like, it's like, but yeah, like once again, and he even says this in the movie, like he's young. He's a young man. He's impressionable. He's listening to a professional telling him stuff. And I just can't help but think of, college kids now. I mean, he's, I mean, this actor, I mean, I don't know how old the actor is, but the character that he plays is supposed to be 17 or 18. So roughly, young adult.
He looks like a teenager in this film anyway. For me, he does.
Yeah. He looks like he's pretty much a teenager, and he's basically being told erroneous stuff by a professional. And that just really, that would anger any adult who knows better. Like,
just imagine that sort of stuff goes on in our colleges.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought when I heard this. And so once again, like, that was the reason why I said earlier how relevant some of these topics, some of these themes are to today's world. And the thing is, there has to be free discussion. There has to be a discussion between two different sides. You can't just push your beliefs or push harmful ideas into a kid or to a young person, whether a kid or a teenager.
Yeah, they tell us that we're not supposed to speak about what we believe, but for whatever reason they're allowed to say whatever they want and project on other people.
Yeah, and it's hypocritical, and it needs to be called out, and people like that I have zero respect for. Now, can they be redeemed? Yes. Is there redemption? Yes. I think redemption is necessary for every human being. But it's I don't respect it at all.
And the audience knows that this young man, he was already grounded and rooted in reality. He understood. He was already volunteering as a Santa for I think an orphanage and all that kind of stuff. He was already rooted in reality and already grounded. But then here's this adult that comes in and tells him differently. And it's, I'm going to say he's not necessarily a child, but I'm just going to consider him a child because he's a teenager. People don't think that children know what's right and wrong, but they do. And it's the adults that get in the way sometimes.
I agree. Yeah. I don't deal with children often, but when I do, I try to treat them like they're individuals. I do treat them like they're still developing. And so I always try to give them, means to, I always ask them questions, and have them,
engage them
pretty much.
Don't patronize them, and just engage them, because they don't want to be seen. I mean, they don't want to be seen as children, but they understand where their place is.
Yeah.
And that's the cool thing about kids, is that they understand where their place is. They live in the present. But they will know they will definitely know when you're patronizing them or disrespecting them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they'll call you out if you're if they like you enough, they'll call you out.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so we already showed he already confronts Mr. Sawyer, and as a result, he gets he hits him in the head. And they're just like, okay, we're going to have him committed. So they end up taking him away. They say, oh, you're going to see the mayor and blah, blah, blah. And so they take him to a van. They take him to not a van, a car, and they're taking him downtown to Bellevue or something. And well, they let him know because he doesn't have any next of kin or anything. So they call they talk to Mr. Gailey. He's an attorney, and he's an attorney, and they're just like, hey, we're just letting you know he's here. And so so they commit him. This doctor basically says he failed the tests, and so I had to recommend.
He purposely failed the test.
Yeah, because even Chris, even though Chris is the he's kind of like, I'd say he fills in the mentor role, kind of. He's trying to help, but even he has his own little arc right here where he loses faith, and that's kind of why he's in this position. And it's really not until, Mr. Gailey kind of puts a little bit of sense back into his head, and he's able to, once again, the wisdom kind of, comes back to the surface, and he's like, yeah, you're right. And then, then they start to work towards, the resolution, which I feel is missing. Now, we give the Last Jedi? We give that movie a lot of crap because of how they handled Luke as a mentor character. Because he wasn't really a mentor character. He was a nothing character.
Well, the overall story was crap in general. But
that
too. The way that they treated Luke was.
Yeah, they could have had him, make a mistake to the point where it would have been the low point of the movie for him, and then Ray could have, talked him, got him back into it. Something kind of like this, but that movie completely missed the ball on how to do that proper. And that's why very few people like the movie, unless you like everything regardless of reason and rhyme. But hey, no judgments here. But,
yep. This is a great something that you brought up about even Kris Kringle losing faith in positivity.
Yeah,
but this is where friends step up, because Kris Kringle is the one that's probably the most positive person in this entire story, and he's trying to bring everybody else up and try to encourage everybody else around him. But then here come his cup gets empty, and he loses faith, and then here comes Mr. Galen to step up and be that role for Kris Kringle. This is what your friend.
You keep saying Mr. Galen. It's Mr. Gailey.
Galen. Galen. Mr. Galen.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong then.
I think it's Galen. I don't know. I don't put subtitles on, so it's probably not proper.
I think it was. Yeah, it's Gailey. Like it rhymes with Bailey. Gailey.
Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, right here, and because of that, he's upset that he thought Doris, he thought he was doing something good for Doris, and he feels Doris was kind of playing him, and she's like, well, she just didn't want to hurt you, and Gailey's like, they need you, like you have to, please, you have to help them, and then
right.
He's like, you know what, you're right. And then it's one thing that one thing of wisdom that I've been thinking about lately, and I think I think one thing, as me and Pips did the Jaws stream, there's one moment in Jaws where Quint tells Hooper, he's like, are you wise enough to know when you're wrong and to know when to figure out that you're wrong? And this is kind of how I feel about Kringle realizes he's wrong to feel that way, and he manages to once again get back up on his feet, and
and he doesn't, he was almost there and getting Doris and Susan to wake up, and so to speak, and he can't give up on them because they need him, they need his spirit.
That's true. And Dan Crane brings up an interesting point. I did read about this. He says the movie's original title was Christmas Miracle on 34th Street, but the movie's release date was moved up to summer of 47. Therefore, Christmas was dropped. So they kept the idea that this was a Christmas movie a secret because they released this in the summer. So, Yeah, it's true. Oh, come on, Dempsey. Seriously, Ryan Johnson's
Dempsey,
greater than Hemingway.
No. Ignore these comments. They're trying to disrupt the Christmas spirit.
Yeah, I mean, we do know what ultimately happened to Mr. Hemingway. Yeah, sad.
Yep.
So we get this nice little. Oh, so here we meet the judge.
Mm-hmm.
Here
so
we
now,
meet the,
so now they're so now what's happening is that they're suing the psychologist, or they're taking the psychologist to court for, I forget for what grounds, but Mr. Gailey is now representing Kris Kringle as his lawyer.
Yeah, he's just, I think, to prove that he is Santa Claus. He wants to prove that Kris Kringle is actually Santa Claus. And so here we meet the judge. That's the prosecutor. And you know who the judge is friends with? Do you recognize the man who the judge is friends with? I saw this and was like, I know that guy. Let me see if I could find him. Oh yeah, of course. Here's
I love this. Yeah.
Right here. He completely snubs Sawyer. And he's like, you're not going to tell the public about this, are you? He's like, I absolutely will. Thanks for giving me the idea. And then he walks away.
He's so good about that. Like, just, it's not just, he's just kind of laying down the groundwork of, you're not going to intimidate me here.
Look who it is. It's Fred Mertz.
Yep.
It's Fred Mertz. I'm like, I didn't even know he was in anything else, but yeah. So he is, so he's the judge's friend. He's the judge. He's the guy that gets people elected. He's one of those guys,
He's like the consultant on like a committee chair or something like that for a campaign. And it's funny, if you watch a lot of these classic movies, sometimes you might see a surprise here and there of people that you see they're familiar on television.
Yeah. It's just crazy. I'm just expecting him to talk crap about Ethel. I forget what he calls her, but yeah, just old stick in the mud. Talk about old stick in the mud right there. So, but what's funny is, and I have to bring this up. They hate the two actors. Him and Ethel on I Love Lucy. They hated each other in real life, like, because he was like twice her age.
Ah, gotcha.
And so the chemistry was perfect for them. So I just had to include that. But he's literally telling him here, he's like, don't rule against Santa Claus. He's just warning him about public perception if he rules against Kris Kringle and everything. And it's funny how
I love the grandkids.
I had to include this in the opening. He's like, right here. How about a great big kiss for Grandpa? Look at that.
And look at them. I mean, they're like, and then he's like, what did I do? What did I do? And she's like, well, what do you expect? You're the one that's trying Santa Claus. Look at her face.
Yeah. Look at her. Yeah. And she's like, I don't blame them. Any man who puts Santa Claus on trial for lunacy. Yeah,
and look at his face. And then his friend comes in and he's like, I told you, because the judge is running up for election during that particular year. So look at him. He's like, I'm telling you, it's gonna kill your career.
Yeah, people are gonna turn on you. Yeah.
Because I think this is a federal judge. I think, or is it I forget what it's called. District judge. I don't remember. But he's an elected official. Yes. Elected judge.
So
yeah.
Yeah, I think all judges are elected. I think I always thought it was municipal. I don't know. That tells you how much I know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know local or that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I do have to bring this up. Something I do want to do with Mags is one point. FF6 stream.
Yes. Can't wait for Drax's 56. Yes.
Chris, I don't know about
58. No,
58.
No, I'll be an old granny then. No, I will get to it, Nas. Don't worry. And sorry, my voice is probably starting to sound like it's about ready to die.
Yeah, we're almost done.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
That's all
sorry.
right. It's all right. So yeah, they're talking to they're having Chris on the stand. He's telling him, "Hey, I am Santa Claus, and I'm from the North Pole, and
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm gonna be very busy on Christmas and everything." So it's I'm trying to remember what else. I'm trying to remember
And of
what
course,
was said.
Doris is upset at him for doing this, and he not only is doing this to represent Chris Kringle, but he turned in his resignation at the law firm that he was working at because they thought he was crazy for taking on this trial. So he's pretty
Yes.
much doing it all on his own. And she's appalled by it because, you're supposed to be steady, you're supposed to be stable and, not doing anything wild or crazy or imaginative. And she's having a hard time understanding the situation. She
Yeah.
likes the man, she likes Mr. Gailey and Chris Kringle, but she's having a hard clash of her own belief system in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. Even the prosecutor has family too, right here.
yep.
And they're giving. I think he's getting crap too for prosecuting against Santa Claus. He's like, "Hey, I have to do it. It's a job. I'm a professional. I have to do it. I have to do what I do." Like, he's like, "Sorry, that's just how it is." Yeah. So we get this great. So yeah, another scene with him and the kid right there.
Yeah, the young kid that he befriends.
Yeah. And here's Mr. Macy. And they're asking Mr. Macy on oath if he believes that Chris Kriegel's Santa Claus. And there's this great edit right here where he's thinking of
All the children, all
of
the
all
children,
the children and the right here Macy admits that Santa Claus is a fraud. I love this.
I mean, it's true. I mean, he's
He's a businessman.
He's a businessman.
He's Mr.
Yeah.
Macy for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, why would you have the Macy's Day Christmas parade with your Santa if you think he's a fraud? I mean, he's a business. Yeah, you're right. He's a businessman.
Yep. And what I love after this is he right here, perfect. He fires him. He fires Sawyer.
It's like, you're fired.
He's like, you're fired. He's just like, yeah, right in the middle of the trial. He's like, I was like thinking, if he fires Sawyer, then Sawyer should just. If I was Sawyer, I'd get up and leave. I wouldn't stay.
Well,
in this trial.
And honestly, Mr. Macy realizes that he's going to be a liability with the way he approaches all of his employees and life in general. It's going to be Mr. Macy, yes, has to look at numbers and business and that side of things, but it's not good business to have this kind of employee there that's going to be dehumanizing everybody else around him. So, I mean,
I agree.
There's some ethical standpoint on that one.
That's true.
Excuse me.
Hey, look who's here. Gray's here. What's up, Gray?
Hey, Gray.
Straight from Nihon.
Uh-huh.
That's Japanese for Japan.
Konnichiwa.
Well, actually, I think for them it's still morning. Ohio. They're 14 hours ahead, so it's 11. I think it's 11 a.m. there. I
only know konnichiwa, so
that's good afternoon.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Look who else is here.
Corey.
Salty, what's up? The artist formerly known as Salty Texas C.
I know. He's traveling. He's the traveling soldier here.
That's right. He says lunchtime here. Oh,
so Gray, I probably said. Oh, so I did say it correctly, right, Gray? Let me know if I said it wrong.
Yeah. Ohio isn't a part of Japan, Nerdporeal. I take responsibility then. That's actually how you pronounce. That's how you say good morning. Is they say Ohio gozaimasu. I'm not joking. It's true. I took Japanese in college.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yeah, so he's getting more. The judge is getting more advice. And then I think, you'll get the kid here. So we get the kid here. The kid believes he's Santa Claus too.
Well, Mr. Gailey brings, what is it, the prosecutor's son on trial?
Oh, that's the prosecutor's son. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Look at his face.
Okay. I did they bring in the bags of mail? So like
No, not yet. You're
all these
getting
kids are
close.
sending mail to the
Well, what happens is, in the mail room when they're sorting out the mail, in New York City's the postal office, they're like, well, here's this trial going on, and so they're like, well, we need to send these letters somewhere, so let's send them down to the courthouse. So there's that. But then, of course, right here, of course, deep down, Doris and Susan still care for Kris Kringle, even if they're still having trouble believing. They know that he's a good man, and deep down. So this is a really sweet letter, and I love that Doris also writes too that she believes.
Man, that handwriting's better than mine. I don't know what it was, but when I was a kid, like the girls always had the better handwriting.
Well,
because we had terrible. All the boys had terrible handwriting. The girls had the best handwriting. I don't know. It's crazy.
Oh gosh!
But
of course,
that's cute.
It is very cute, and I love that. And look, cursive. I love it.
Yeah, Doris actually adds this too. So this is like, okay, this is pretty much she completed her character arc right here.
Yep.
Oh, and the one thing I forgot to mention is that Susan actually wants something for Christmas, and she asks Kris, and she's like, "I want,
but we don't
to live in a house."
Yeah, we want to live in a house, but she doesn't really talk about the actual house yet. It's more like
she shows him a picture.
Uh-huh.
It's like, this is what I want. And he's like,
ooh, I don't know about that.
It's a tough one. So you'd think, what would Santa Claus or what would Kris Kringle have to do to get something like that? You have to call in a lot of favors, millions of years, thousands of years of favors, I'm sure you can get I'm sure there's something out there.
Yep. So,
but so here's the mailroom. I love how New Yorker they talk right here.
Oh yes, very, yeah. Kris Kringle, New York County Courthouse.
They got him on. What does he say? They got him on trial down there.
I know.
He claims that he's Santa Claus and everything. I love this movie. I love New York. Is just that. Oh, I love that. Just
the accent. Yeah.
Yeah, just that gangster. It sounds gangster, even though it's just New York. It's just a New York talk.
But this is not a gangster movie.
It's not a gangster movie. And the DA claims that he's nuts. I love this. It's crazy. It's great. But so what they do? Hey, we got to get rid of this mail. So what we're gonna do? Let's just send it to the courthouse. They put it on the address anyways. So why not do that?
And I love at the end of that scene too. The mail sorter goes, jingle bells, jingle all the way. And then here we go. They bring in
and they're all laughing. Everybody's laughing.
Well, and right before that, I think it's right before or somewhere around this scene, Mr. Gailey brought in law books of showing proof that the United States Postal Service was it a felony or something like that if they deliver mail incorrectly or on purpose incorrectly or something like that.
Yeah.
And so by default, a United States agency recognizes Kris Kringle to be the person. Which was it's a good argument. I mean,
it was a great argument, and that's how it gets dismissed. Ultimately, judge is like, you know what? He's like, the judge is like, you know what? He's thinking about, his grandkids. He was thinking about Fred Mertz. I don't remember his name, but Fred Mertz giving him advice, and he's just like, you know what? Case dismissed. He took the L. He took the L like a champ.
I love it. I love it when they dump all the letters on his desk too, and he has to swim his way out of it.
Yeah, look, there's Fred right there. He's got that
big stogie, the big stogie in his mouth. Yeah.
Yep. Yep, and they're all like, you know what, we gotta get home. It's like I didn't even you would think that they would have Christmas Eve off, trials and everything, but I guess for the sake of this movie, to raise the drama and the stakes, they had to have the trial on Christmas Eve.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
I gotta get home, and of course, he wishes the judge a Merry Christmas. It's such a great movie. I love this movie.
it's so wholesome. Oh, you got to have the balance of wholesome movies in your life. It can't always be too serious or, horror or anything like that. Sometimes you need wholesome to balance it out.
Yeah, I totally agree. And because of
And
that, it's Christmas morning. So I'm surprised this whole movie takes place over the course of a month. You don't think it takes place over the course of a month, but
because it
somehow
starts
does.
with Thanksgiving, really.
It starts with Thanksgiving and it ends with Christmas Day.
Yep.
And so that I think they're at like a party or something, or
I think it's maybe like a Christmas Day party or something like that. Let's see here. Yep. And yep, they had a party at some. I think it was Mr. Macy's house. I think
Mr.
And I love that Kris Kringle gives his doctor an X-ray machine. I mean, that thing probably cost thousands of dollars for back then.
Look at that. That's an X-ray. I wasn't sure what that was.
I think it was an X-ray machine because remember when Mr. Macy's and Mr. Gimble they kind of made a truce or whatever, and they gave that was it $15,000 check to Kris Kringle, and he's like, I think I have a friend who needs an X-ray machine. Yeah.
See, call in the favors. Who knows what you'll get right there.
Yeah,
I love this right here.
And it's so good. It's so, and I love that his doctor never disagrees with him about who he is.
Yeah. And Kris doesn't say a word to him. Kris just, smiles, pats him on the shoulder, and that's it. And that's pretty much all that has to be said.
Yep.
It's when people don't speak that I think says the most to me. I don't know. That's a me thing though.
Well, plus the acting here is great. It's got great emotion to it.
Yeah.
And then of course we come to Doris and Susan, and Susan does not see the present that she was looking for.
Yeah, she wanted that house. She wanted to live with she wanted them all to be a family.
It's funny, even children need that family dynamic.
Yeah.
They don't want to, they know something's wrong or off when it's not a family dynamic.
Yeah.
So what Kris does is send them directions to, I don't know what to where in particular, but it's directions to leaving, I guess, Mr. Macy's house, and gets them on their merry way.
Yes, he tells them a route to avoid. He gives them a route to avoid traffic. So they drive. And then all of a sudden she's like, wait a minute, wait, that's the house, that's the gift, it's here. And she's just like, stop the car. I'm like, I'm surprised you'd stop the car for a kid, because back then, kids were, rambunctious and troublemakers, and what adults listen to a kid back then? But there she goes. She's running into the house. She's running to a house that's for sale. And
that was on the picture of the newspaper or magazine or whatever she clipped from.
Yep. And she's like, there's a house here. She's like, this is it. Is the swing there? It is there.
Yep, it's exactly how she imagined it.
Yep.
I mean, look at her face. I love it. And he's like, what?
And they're like, she's like, there is a swing. And they're like, interesting.
And then I think too, it's just she reveals something of Doris, where she's like, just like what you said, Mommy, if you
first you don't succeed.
So something, like that. And Mr. Gailey is like,
yeah. So Fred learns that Doris has encouraged Susan to have faith.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, maybe let's get this house.
Yeah. Well, and then they see something in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, they
Next
see
to,
a cane.
they
They
see a
spot a cane,
cane.
and you're like, is it who I think it is, Kane, right there?
Uh-huh. Yeah, look at their faces. He's like,
There it is.
look at their faces.
And they're playing dun, 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 jingle bells, jingle all the way.
And it's the
And
end.
that's the end. It's the end of Miracle on 34th Street. So
Mm.
it's a beautiful movie. I love it.
It's a
It's,
it's a fun classic movie that never gets old. It definitely has a lot of timeless charm and relatability to it in terms of what we can see currently in our own lives. Once again, we don't need to put our reality into the movie. The movie already provides us uh, a grounded sense of humanity already for
yeah,
us to even see how relevant it still is to this day.
I totally agree. Just and that's what I feel is missing from a lot of entertainment now. Just
Yep.
that human quality, that human, that humanity that stretches beyond time and space. Well, I had to say space because I'm a Star Trek fan, but it's the reason why people like, it's the reason why people to this day like, epic films, epic movies, epic books, epic stories. For that same reason, it just has, there's that human centric, the very human condition type of thing that people can relate to on a deep level. And even these type of movies provide the same.
Mm-hmm.
So
They may be silly, wholesome movies, but they're still timeless for a reason because
yeah,
they still have relatability.
yeah. So Max, thanks for doing this. I asked you to be on stream with me because you said you watched this, and I have a keen sense of observation. So I like to ask the best person for the role, or best person to team up with to talk about a particular movie. And I thought you were perfect to talk about this, so I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Yep. We make my family, we have a list, we have a stack of of Christmas movies, of DVD movies, and we try to watch them every year. Sometimes depending on the situation, we may not get through all of them, but I mean, I even like watching the claymation ones. So it's just tradition. I mean,
What
it's fun.
the Rankin Bass? Is it the
Uh-huh.
Rankin Bass?
Rudolph and Santa
Rudolph.
and
Okay,
yep.
it's
Yep.
been years since I've seen those. I have to watch those again. So
They're great. I love the Rudolph universe.
the Rudolph universe.
Yes, there is. Because Rudolph says Baby New Year and all this other stuff, all those other movies. It's great. I love it.
Oh, okay, okay. So so Max, what do you got going on? What's going on with your channel? Is there anything you want to push or promote?
Um well, of course it's Christmas this weekend, so I'm probably not going to be doing too much. You'll see me around. I just won't be doing anything on my channel. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I might do an impromptu something. I don't know. So always be on the lookout. Oh, I'm always keeping people on their toes with that stuff. um, but as far as next week is concerned, I'm not sure what else is going on. I know next Thursday is Roman of the Empire's stream for the Star Trek 4. I'll probably be coming in maybe an hour after start because my mom is retiring and it will be her.
Oh,
She's
really?
actually next Friday is her last day, so we're going to be going. My dad and I are going to be taking her out for happy hour on Thursday. So we'll see if I can make it back in time for the Roman of the Empire's stream. I should be there for the second hour of that, but
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty
yeah.
cool.
So but yes, please check out Roman of the Empire. He's been doing a retrospective or a review of the original Star Trek movies, and those I love those movies. I mean, I used to watch them all the time on VHS, and in fact, I think some of the tapes are a little, they're loved from back in the day.
Star Trek, what's that? Never heard of it. Star Trek movies? Who watches that crap? Nerds.
Yeah, nerds. Yeah. But as far as anything,
like
as
those
far
are
as
my
anything
comfort
else,
movies.
yeah, they are. Yeah, pretty much. As far as anything else, I'm not sure. I usually, pop up somewhere, and I'm always around. Try to mod, and I try to boost everybody up and tag everybody and share everybody's streams out as best as I can. But yeah, I'm around.
I have to put your link in. I didn't even put your link in my. I feel bad now. I didn't even put your link in my description yet.
You invited me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And I apologize, everybody, for my coughing. I was sick last week, and the cough is just not going away, and it's been raining, so it's kind of aggravated it. So I'm sorry.
By the way, my name is pronounced Brian Cringporial, not Cringeporial. So please, if you thought Cringeporial, you're a bad person, and you deserve to be canceled for that.
Oops.
Okay, I didn't mean that. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I was not. That was the wokeporial in me talking. Sorry. I got multiple personalities of Porial, or whatever you call it.
Well, you have drunk Porial for Wheel of Prime.
Drunk Porial doesn't exist. Drunk Porial is a myth created by bad actors in Hollywood.
Is it Drunk Porial or Rage Porial at this point? Who knows?
Rage Porial. I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you mean. But yeah, that Wheel of Time. Wow, that I've never been so angry at an episode of a television show until Monday, because I just read that book. I just read the first book. I know the details. I know what ultimately happens. I know the character arcs and everything, and it didn't set anything up. Like, everything was written to be set up for later, and they didn't even include any of that. So how's this series gonna end? And Salty and Nathan and Steve and Pips, they're all like, oh, keep watching. It's gonna rip your brain up. It's gonna rip your brain.
They're only doing this because misery loves company, and they need extra people to join them.
Yeah, that's true too. That's very true.
I only tease that because I completely understand. Like, you're trying to have the comparison between, like, the books versus what's been done atrociously. So
yeah,
there's that comparison.
Yeah. So Monday will be I'll be watching episode 2. It'll be on my channel, but Steve is still going to be the boss and hosting it. So
it's probably a good thing, because that story on Monday was like,
yeah. So, and we're going to try and get through this show quicker. I don't want to do this weekly, because it's just, it's going to destroy my soul if I watch it over the course of 8 weeks. So,
hey, so Nathan says, how dare you, Mags? We're there in support of the Drunk Porial. It's not just support. I think you're encouraging it.
That doesn't exist. It's not real. It's misinformation. It's misinformation.
It's fake news.
Yeah. So, but tomorrow, and I have to watch it. Gray's going to be, if I think Gray's still going to be covering. He's going to be still doing his Friday night stream. I recommended, he wanted a Christmas movie. I recommended the anime film Tokyo Godfathers. It's probably the only anime film I know of that also can act as a Christmas movie too. It's basically about 3 homeless people find a baby. And what's funny is
it like 3 Men and a Baby kind of thing, or?
Yeah, except one is a man, one is a transvestite, and the other is a transvestite male, and the other is a young girl. And what's funny is the transvestite's the most likable of the 3 characters, the least selfish of them all. And it's a great movie.
Leave it to Japan to truly write their characters. They know how to do it.
Yep, and it's also Satoshi Kon, So yeah, definitely can't wait. I have to watch it, and it's been a while since I watched it. I can't wait to watch it again. So yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow night, 11 p.m. So I'll probably do a watch party, and I'm also gonna be on OBG70's channel tomorrow night too. So he's doing a stream. So I've been on between this stream, I've been on so many streams this week. Like I've only had one day off. I've only had one day off this week so far. So
you're a working man,
Yeah.
man and YouTube man.
Yeah. Work. Yeah. I don't want to brag, but one of my videos recently, even though the video's been out for months, recently got a bump in the algorithm. I don't get YouTube. I just don't get it. Like
the more you try to understand it, the more it's going to hurt your brain. So it's just better to just do what you love and continue to do what you're doing.
Yeah, true. So, but yeah, and maybe I might do a stream on Saturday. I don't know. Depends if I'm bored and I have, stuff I want to drink and chill. If there's people online that are just want to chill, I'll probably be on. So that's pretty much it. So Mags, once again, thank you. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you for having me. This has been fun. I love talking about classic movies like this. I wish more people would.
Yeah, same here. So can't wait. Next year will be next year. Hopefully I'll probably actually do some Christmas videos and not just streams and everything. But yeah, and Nas is trying to bait me again by saying Breath of the Wild stream on Saturday because everybody knows how I feel about Breath of the Wild. So
he's always trying to bait somebody into doing something.
And Gray's like, "Are you going to join the Tokyo Godfather stream?" Of course. I recommended the film. Of course, I'll join you. Of course, I'll join you, Gray. I have to watch it. I have to watch it. I have to find my copy and watch it. So, but other than everybody, take care. Stay nerdporeal. May the wings of nerdporeals carry you to a safe and happy and merry Christmas weekend.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
And have a happy new year if I don't see some of you. Peace.
See you next month.
We are in the final weeks of another Earth revolution. Autumn's end is nigh. The winds of winter return despite having been around for years, but will likely never truly finish. This solstice brings people together around that evergreen tree as they give happiness to loved ones while watching timeless holiday entertainment. There are the inevitable debates about whether or not certain classics truly are Christmas movies. Nonetheless, join myself and my esteemed guests as we commence a Nerdporeal holiday special.